teach angelic numerology, and the reason why is because, let me tell y'all this, okay? This is why you need to understand the language of heaven, because numbers are a divine architecture, okay? And this is how heaven speak. This is what you need to understand as an earth angel, okay? So listen, numbers are pre-physical structure. I'm just saying. Listen, let me say this. Numbers are not predicting your future, but they are revealing the level of your perception. That's what they are doing, okay? So, like I said, numbers are an architecture of reality, and understand Hebrew letters as energetic geometry, okay? Repetition as pattern recognition, and the angels as functions of divine will. This is what you need to understand. Also, you need to learn discernment and maturity. So heaven does not shout, but it patterns, okay? Understand that. So listen, let me say this. This is why you see, okay, it's like a metaphysical breakdown of, 111, 222, 333, 444, 555. 666, 777, 888, 999, right? So this becomes mystical numerology for conscious leaders, right? So this is what I teach in Earth Angel Academy, okay? We talk about numerology, angelic numerology, right? Because see, you need to understand how heaven speaks to you, okay? So listen, let me say this too. Numbers are not a sign of rescue either, but they are mirrors, okay? It's that framing that elevates, okay, around how heaven speaks, right? So listen, let me say this because, okay, this is pretty good, all right? Pretty good. Because I want to teach this a little bit more. But see, I got to get in the Earth Angel Academy, because then I'm going to teach you about the repeating patterns and numbers and sacred timing and those moments that feel orchestrated rather than accidental, okay? Because see, listen, heaven does not speak in chaos, y'all. Heaven don't do that. No, the Most High don't do that. Heaven speaks in structure. So if you are beginning to notice patterns in your life, it does not mean that you're being rescued. Nah, it means that your perception is refining, okay? So today, this is why I'm teaching you how numbers function in mystical tradition, not as a superstition, but as a architecture. Yeah. And you need to understand, it's ancient mystical thought. It's because creation, y'all, did not just begin with matter. And so it began with structure. So you need to understand this. This is why when you read the sacred text, okay, listen. Let me tell you. The book of creation, it describes creation unfolding. Okay, through numbers, through letters, through pattern, through proportion. Before something physical, before it becomes physical, it exists as ratio first, right? Before it becomes visible, it exists as intelligence, right? So numbers are not decorations, okay, on reality. Nah, that's not what numbers is. But they are, listen, they are scaffolding of reality, pretty much, okay? And this is why repetition awakens something on the inside of you, because see, your consciousness, it recognizes order, okay? So understand that letters are living frequencies, y'all. So in the Hebrew mysticism, letters are not passive symbols. No, they not, y'all. So even, listen, the letters in the Hebraic alphabet are energetic forces, okay? That's what it is, y'all. Even it explains this in the Zohar, okay? It expands on this ideal, teaching that letters carry vibration, okay? Listen, geometry, number, architect, okay? Or archetype, I mean. So listen, every letter has like a sound. It has a shape. It has a numerical value. It's a spiritual function, right? Through gematria. I'm just saying. So words that share numerical value, right? They are believed to have deeper meanings, okay? So for example, the Hebrew word for angel, right? It carries a numerical value. It is connected to divine names that bridge heaven and earth. You need to understand this. And what does that teach us? Angels are not random, y'all. They're not random. They not just winged beings floating around us to fix your life. No, they are harmonizing functions within divine law. That's exactly what's happening. Okay? They operate, y'all, through alignment. Okay? So this is why you see the repeating numbers. Like I said, 111, 112, 113, 114. You know, this is from a grounded, okay, mystical perspective. Repetition, it interrupts linear thinking, okay? So listen, it moves you from autopilot into awareness, okay? Because see, some of y'all walking around on autopilot anyway. Y'all need to become more aware. And it ain't got nothing to do with fortune telling or anything, but it is pattern recognition. You need to understand the signs and the synchronicities of how the language of heaven speaks to you, okay? Understand. And when heaven speak, understand. Ask yourself, what state was I in? What decision was forming? What awareness was surfacing, okay? Because see, the number is not commanding you. No, it's not doing that, but it's highlighting a moment in your life. And here is where maturity matters, okay? This is true guidance. It feels calm. It brings clarity. It ain't about you panicking. You know, it strengthens responsibility, not dependency, y'all. So, and it creates something, listen, it creates, if something creates fear, what I wanted to say, okay, or urgency or obsession, that's not higher guidance. And so heaven does not agitate, it stabilizes. Understand this. And so angels as functions, they function. It ain't a fantasy. So, angels are not personalities with preferences, no. No, you need to understand deeper Kabbalistic thought. Okay? So listen, they are expressions of divine will. They are frequencies embedded in the architecture of reality. Okay? So it talks about this in the Torah. It describes angels appearing at threshold moments, y'all. Transitions, awakenings, structural shifts, okay? And so this is important. It's important. I'm trying to tell you, angelic interaction is not about being spectacle. It's about structure shifting, y'all. So when when you start to see the 444 repeatedly, it may symbolize foundation. Or like I said, I saw 777. Okay, that means a completion, baby, of a spiritual cycle. Not because the number is magical, no, but because consciousness is synchronizing with a structural principle, y'all. And this is how heaven speaks in pattern, because pattern is neutral. Okay? We know humans assign drama, but listen, now, this is why I'm talking about discernment. As a conscious leader, you need discernment. So that's just like, I practice this, I experience this. So discernment is everything. So notice the patterns, pause your nervous system, inquire internally, and align your actions with integrity. That is collaboration. We ain't chasing signs. We ain't outsourcing decisions. No, see, the sacred work is not decoding numbers, but the sacred work, baby, is becoming aligned to recognize structure enough. Okay? That's what you're doing. So now, we're not being hunted by no numbers, but we are being invited into awareness, baby. Because see, heaven ain't loud, but it's precise. Heaven is precise, and the more regulated, the more responsible, and the more